there is a good step. Spirit typically just wants to pass along a message, wants their story told. So if he's ignoring them, I could understand that there would be escalation. In this case, I think he just needs to find a way to translate what is being said.
Dude, I'm tripping the out right now.
What should you do in the event you witness something paranormal? Here are some tips to get it all on camera. Be prepared for physical contact.
You okay? I'm back.
Trust that what you're seeing really is paranormal. Curious, not foolhardy. If you do catch something, email us at submitparanormal@gmail.com. Social media. Your footage could be seen right here on Paranormal Caught on Camera.
What the?
Next on Paranormal Caught on Camera.
Everything's going all haywire.
A poltergeist torments a man in Utah.
Oh! Oh! No, 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 no. This. I've never been more scared in my entire life.
A motorcycle ride takes a terrifying turn.
I was like frightened to death. Literally, I didn't sleep for a week.
Hundreds of UFOs are spotted off the east coast of Florida.
They're traveling all together. Look how many there are.
They seem to have a trajectory that is intelligent.
A giant lake monster surfaces in Turkey.
Is this some sort of freakily evolved sea mammal creature that got trapped in this lake?
And even more paranormal footage you have to see
Can you tell me what's in this cellar?
to believe. Did you know that a spirit can attach itself to a person? And for some, having a supernatural connection can be a fascinating experience. But for others, it can feel more like a chronic illness that keeps creeping in and out of their lives, following them from place to place, and showing itself when they least expect it. Which is what happened to one man in Utah,
Everything's going all haywire.
who, as far as we know, is still being haunted to this day.
Oh! Oh! No, 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 no. This.
Woods Cross, Utah. Since the age of 5, James Fitzpatrick believes a spirit has been following him around wherever he goes.
My name is James, and this is my video. I've had my sheets pulled off my bed. I've had something grab my leg while I was in bed. Doors opening and closing by themselves. Lights turning on and off. I heard what sounded like a little kid laughing in our living room, but there was nobody in there. Stuff happens a lot.
In December 2019, James was home alone when he noticed his daughter's remote control car started moving on its own. That's the remote on the floor there.
I was watching a movie, and all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I just see it kind of just barely going back and forth. And then I look at it, and it just zooms back maybe about 4 feet. And then that's when I started recording. That toy car is moving by itself, and there's the remote for it. And the second I said something about it moving, it just stopped. I tried thinking of, okay, what could be causing that? I'm not an electrical type of person or anything, but I mean, after I took the video, I looked at the car and it was off. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it.
A few weeks later, James caught another eerie event on camera accidentally as he played a prank on his wife, seen here in the video.
I had just gotten a new bank account and discovered that I could activate and deactivate my debit card. My wife didn't know that, and so she was trying to buy something on the internet with my card, and it's not working. And I'd show her my bank account. Okay, well, the money's in there, so you're obviously doing something wrong. Then I started to film, because I knew that she was going to start to get aggravated.
Then, as James is filming his wife, something appears in the background. Did you see that? Look at the right side of the doorway behind her, as a shadow figure peeks out for a moment. Even their dog takes notice. James wasn't even aware of the dark entity in the background until a friend pointed it out to him the next day.
He's just like, dude, did you notice this? He's like, what? And he's like, starts the video over, and he's like pointing right where it is, and that's when I saw it, and I was just like, oh.
And that's not all. James believes the entity has also followed him to work. One night in 2016, while he was working his shift at a security company, all hell broke loose.
I showed up to work. Something felt a little off, but it wasn't anything that really concerned me or anything. It was just kind of like, oh, weird vibe. Then at about 2:30, my coworker Ryan went out on patrol, and about 2 minutes after he left, everything's going all haywire. We got alarms going off. Ryan's out on patrol. At first, I was kind of running through my head trying to think of every possible explanation as to what it could be. And I kind of came to the conclusion, oh, maybe it's like something's wrong with like the power line or something. So I kind of poked my head out the window, and power line was fine. And I took my phone out to record a video to send it to my supervisor, like, hey man, what do I do? And then as I'm walking through, that's when it just kind of all got real. Look, there's a poltergeist or some in here. Oh! Oh! No. This door just slammed, and I've never been more scared in my entire life. Holy no way did that just happen. No way. Holy, what the?
My first reaction when I see this clip is, dude, something's trying to get your attention. Something really wants to talk to you. This is next level. There is so much happening here.
It's one of those scenarios that the supernatural will use what we give it to communicate. So the more we surround ourselves with electronic devices, the more that's going to be how the supernatural finds a conduit to communicate with us.
Oh!
So, is this the work of a spirit that has been haunting James since he was a young boy? And if so, what is that spirit trying to convey?
That toy car is moving by itself.
If he's saying that this spirit has been with him for a long time, it could be that spirit trying to play with him again, as if he was a child. Or maybe that spirit is a child.
There is a lot of activity happening to this guy, and to me that's indicative of a poltergeist, because a poltergeist sort of creates chaos in that way.
What poltergeists want is sort of up in the air. They want attention. They want to be noticed.
Oh!
Do they want us to run screaming from that space, or do they want us to like join in and like start making a lot of noise and smashing windows with them? Who knows? It's hard to say.
And the shadow person?
There's multiple theories as to what shadow people are. Some people think that they're an entire species. Like there's a shadow dimension where these shadow people are sort of seeping into our world. The definition that I subscribe to is that it's a manifestation of the energy in a location.
Whatever the case may be, James isn't too thrilled with these disturbances in his life. He's trying to get rid of the spirit by having his house cleansed by a medium, but nothing seems to work.
She walked through our house, did the whole sage thing, and I think it just pissed it off. I think we're at the point where we don't want to piss it off any more than, I guess, what it already is.
Knowing that he has a long history with having energies attached to him, it's pretty clear that he's some sort of beacon or energy source for ghosts and spirits. Sometimes they go, sometimes they stay, sometimes new ones come. So if you're that type of person, then they'll always be around. But I don't consider that to be a bad thing.
I think it's kind of fun. You have a buddy for life. You get to always be able to talk to someone. Yes, it's creepy. Yes, they're ghosts. But it's just nice to have someone listen. Because that's all ghosts can do. It's very difficult for them to talk, which in many ways is the greatest friendship of all.
Oh, that. Oh, no. This.
Coming up, a biker's blood-curdling encounter in India. Imagine you're riding a motorcycle down a dimly lit road late at night. There are no other cars as far as the eye can see. You're totally exposed, with nothing but clothes to protect you from the pavement if something were to go wrong. You could hit a pothole or a slick spot and lose control. An animal could dart out into the road and cause you to crash. Or, if you happen to be traveling along a certain haunted road in India, you could come across this. It's December 2017 in Uttarakhand, India. A vlogger named Anurag Dobal is riding his motorcycle to a wedding. To get there, he's taking a shortcut on a stretch of road feared by locals for its high number of fatal accidents. Because of its deadly reputation, Anurag's on edge and just hopes to get to the wedding safely. Then, he sees this. Watch again in slow motion, as a ghost or spirit seems to cross directly in front of Anurag's motorcycle.
Man.
My name is Anurag and this is my video. Basically, when I saw that thing, I didn't have any guts, to go further.
Man.
So I decided, to head back to my home. I was very frightened. I turned back, I thought, I would just give it a look, what was the thing, that crossed my path. And when I crossed back, it was like frightened to death. But when I turned back, there was no one standing there.
I cannot believe this guy turned around. You got lucky the first time when the ghost let you go by without killing you. Just leave well enough alone and go to the wedding.
This is a pretty terrifying clip. Seeing this apparition in the middle of the road, which just seems to appear and has absolutely no response to the fact that a motorcycle is speeding at it. Even when the motorcycle passes the figure, it makes no sign of recognition, almost as if it's not there at all.
After Anurag returned home from the terrifying event, he immediately reviewed the footage.
I'm a vlogger, so basically I have my moto cam always on whenever I'm going everywhere else. So when I came back home, I saw the video and that thing had some glowing eyes.
But that wasn't all Anurag noticed about the eerie entity.
When I saw the video, you can see in the video that there is no shadow of the thing. my bike light was, thoroughly passing through it. I had something going through my mind that, there might be something paranormal there.
That's really curious, because if that's the case, then he'd be seeing them right through the back of the head, which would mean that the figure was transparent or translucent. That was really an odd feature to this video.
As it turns out, supernatural beings like the one Anurag captured on his motocam are very prevalent in Hindu culture. In India, they're called bhoots, or restless spirits, and usually appear in white clothing, cast no shadows, and torment drivers on the road.
In this part of the world, in the foothills of the Himalayas, that figure looks like the traditional ghost that's reported in Bengali and Hindu culture. So I like the fact that it matches the activity that people are already experiencing.
This is where folklorists start getting really excited, because when something resonates like this with people and we see that evidence that it's been shared in like this giant game of telephone, whether it's because people have had the same experience or it speaks to some sort of belief system that people are operating in, this is significant.
Anurag's brush with the paranormal was so distressing, it took a toll on him physically.
Literally, I didn't sleep for a week. I couldn't believe what just happened with me. I got sick for a period of 1 week. I had a fever for 102, 101. I belong from a Hindu culture, so after all that, we had some rituals and everything, and then everything went back to normal.
I've heard people just have been so freaked out over an experience that it knocks them out. It knocks him out for days.
When Anurag finally recovered, he posted the video of his hellish ride online, and it captured the attention of more than 1.5 million viewers.
That video went viral because my state, we have got very religious people here, and everyone was like, it is something kind of god, or it is something kind of spirit, or what. No one could define it. What was it?
And although his traumatic encounter happened more than 2 years ago, Anurag is still not over it, and probably never will be.
I don't travel through that route anymore. And whenever I see the video, I'm afraid to see that video again.
Coming up, a cluster of UFOs appear near Kennedy Space Center.
Look at all the ones on the top. They're like an invasion. It's an invasion. Look at the...
Shooting stars, tiny bits of space rock that burn up once they enter Earth's atmosphere. If you're lucky enough to catch one of these flying overhead, you'll never forget it. Now, imagine seeing not one, but nearly 100 of these spectacular sights at the same time. And then, envision those shooting stars aren't burning up in the atmosphere, but rather staying aloft and moving in circles, almost as if they are being intelligently controlled. How would you react? Probably similar to one Florida resident when he saw this during an early morning drive.
Holy me. Did you see that? Oh, hell no, look at that one. These are not stars.
It's 5 a.m., April 2019, in Cocoa Beach, Florida. Alberto Torres and his family are driving to an Easter sunrise service when something moving around in the sky catches his eye.
Roll my window down. What the is this? You tell me. What the hell is that?
At first glance, Alberto thinks he is looking at shooting stars.
Oh, look at it. You seen that flying star?
But a few seconds later, he realizes that isn't the case.
Look at how they're moving in form. They're moving in form in circles. Holy me. Did you see that? Did you see that?
Yeah.
Oh, hell no. Look at that one. These are not stars.
And in fact, Alberto was right. The objects are not burning up in the atmosphere. but rather traveling in distinct patterns in the sky, as if they are intelligently controlled by someone or something. And there are a lot of them.
Look at that, they're traveling all together. Look how many there are.
This is a lot more UFOs than we're used to seeing. Usually it's 3, 2, 4, but this is dozens and dozens, maybe 100.
There's more than 100 of
No,
them.
how is there more now?
They fly, and they move around, and then they come together again.
A lot of ufologists refer to this sort of phenomenon as an armada, which essentially is a number of these craft that are up in the sky at any one time.
Wow, that is so crazy. They're like all over. Look at that. And they're moving around. That is not really normal.
They seem to have a trajectory that is intelligent. They're moving on purpose.
These moved. They didn't move in a just regular way.
I saw that.
They moved. Look at them, look at them.
It looked like sort of intentionally moving, clustered objects, either emitting or reflecting light. The guesses made on the video are, I think, good ones.
I bet you those are drones.
Drones cannot be that high up.
What is that? Balloons. Oh, they are lit up, right?
If these lights in the sky aren't stars, drones, or balloons, what are they? Perhaps it has something to do with where Alberto and his family spotted them. In Cocoa Beach, just 20 miles south of NASA's Kennedy Space Center.
We're right around NASA, too. Look at it. What the hell is those things moving?
The fact that this sighting took place very close to NASA adds another element to this mystery.
Are they remote control things from NASA that they're practicing?
Is this something that NASA's putting together? Like the gentleman mentioned, is it some sort of training exercise or testing some equipment? Is this even involved with NASA whatsoever?
Look at all the ones on the top. Like they're like an invasion. It's an invasion. Look at the.
This is literally happening on the Space Coast. So if there is something alien in nature, it makes sense for them to visit that location, the headquarters for where we try to explore space.
This is not bull. They're lining up and everything, Kira. Look at it. I've never seen this in my life.
Alberto and his family have yet to find out what they saw early that morning near NASA. And they haven't seen anything like it since. Which begs the question, is it possible that Alberto captured an event on camera that no one was supposed to see?
I mean, if the government is smart, they're probably taking cues from UFOs, and it's possible that they've experienced or seen these clustered aircrafts before and are trying to recreate that as a form of surveillance. Like, it's possible that this is NASA creating its own surveillance fleet.
Boom, you seen those? How fast they go? That is so crazy.
What aren't you telling us, NASA? NASA, more like never a straight answer. That's what my uncle says anyway.
Holy me. Did you see that?
Coming up, a cellar that'll give you the creeps.
What's in this cellar? That cellar scared the out of me.
During the 1800s, infectious disease outbreaks, such as cholera, smallpox,